Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. If you wanted to summarize Matthew chapter 2, you could summarize it with this question. Who is truly the king? This is a question that could be asked in connection to Matthew chapter 2 because you have Herod the Great, who had been declared king of the Jews by Caesar just a few decades earlier. The Parthians had come in and had basically driven Herod the Great out of Palestine, and he goes to Rome, and Caesar appoints him as king of the Jews and gives him a large army and sends him back into Palestine to win it back over. But then you have a few decades later these magi that come in who are also Parthians, and whose job it was to pronounce certain individuals as kings. They're coming into Jerusalem, not only into Palestine, but into Jerusalem itself, and asking for the king of the Jews. And Herod the Great, who is already declared king of the Jews, is getting a bit nervous. Are these Parthian magi trying to stir up trouble, trying to start a war again? What's going on? And so Herod the Great, Jerusalem is all stirred up about this situation. And after the Magi leave, Herod the Great ends up having the children there in Bethlehem, 2 years and younger, put to death. He's so afraid of this king that the Magi were speaking about. Fortunately, Joseph and Mary are able to go down into Egypt and escape the wrath of Herod with Jesus. But still, this question is left before us. Who is truly the king? And of course, as we go through the New Testament, we'll find that Jesus is truly the king. He is the king of the Jews. Even Pilate allowed that to be nailed above Jesus on his cross. But even as we continue forward into the book of Revelation, we find that Jesus is not only the king of the Jews, but also King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And so certainly Jesus was the rightful king, not Herod the Great. But as we think about this in our lives, we too have to make this decision and have to ask ourselves this question. Who is truly the king? As we get into this year, we need to begin to figure this out because as we go into the year, we want to be able to really know who is going to rule our lives. Who is really going to direct our steps here in 2025? If we just leave it up to the flesh, we just leave it up to ourselves, we would very much like for us to be the kings. We'd like for us to direct our steps. We'd like for us to be able to make things go the way that we want them to go, and to try to manipulate situations to our advantage, and to live according to just comfort and pleasure and all these other things. But if we look at things from an eternal perspective, and if we look at things according to the Spirit, we must say that Jesus has to be king. He is the only rightful king in our lives, and it is him who must take up the throne of our hearts. And he's the one that must direct our steps and lead us into this year. And so each and every day we have to make a decision. Who's going to be king today? Who's going to rule me today? What am I going to be directed by? Am I going to just try to have things my way? Or am I going to be seeking the things of Christ? This is a decision we have to make every day. And hopefully as we continue through this year and progress through this year, each day we'll say, Jesus is king. Jesus is the one that I should direct my heart towards. And one of the benefits of this reading plan that we have this year is the fact that we are going to be reading from the life of Jesus every day. Little portions of Jesus' life are going to be in our daily reading, and that'll help us to remind ourselves of who truly is king, and to be reminded of Jesus, the one that we are following, and also the one that we should be emulating in our lives every day. So hopefully our reading today will help us come to the point where we say, you know what? Jesus is the rightful king. I now enthrone him in my heart, and I will now allow him to rule my life, and I will allow him to direct my steps each and every day as I continue through this year. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.